Yo, what is going on? I'm Strange and welcome to another video. Today is going to be a little bit of a different day, obviously, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail. I'm actually doing a little bit of a review slash video essay on Godzilla Minus One, which I want to start off by saying, fantastic movie. Probably, it's literally one of my favorite movies ever. If you don't follow me on Letterboxd, you definitely should. Link is down below. But I've seen well over 700 movies, closing in on 750 actually. I watch movies all the time. It's what I do in my spare time. It's what I find fun. It's what I find interesting. And a lot of videos in the future will be coming out as video essays of certain movies. But yeah, I watched this at the time of recording 2 days ago on Monday night for the first time in the cinema. And dude, this movie was fantastic. One of the greatest blockbuster movies I have ever seen. The sound design, the visual effects, the acting, the cinematography, the screenplay, everything was so beautiful. Came together exquisitely, magnificently. It's such a beautiful, sincere, genuine, heartfelt movie. And yes, it's about Godzilla. We're still talking about the same movie. Out of all of the times I've heard of Godzilla or heard of or seen the trailers of other Godzilla movies, like the American ones, Hollywood, I've never thought it would have any weight to it, any emotion, any empathy, nothing towards any human characters, definitely not. Maybe Godzilla, maybe. But this movie delivered on every single front. Um, the director, he knew what he was doing. He just had an idea and it came together so beautifully. His name is Takashi Yamazaki, and I'm pretty sure, he did the screenplay and was like the visual effects like supervisor. And dude, he must have wanted like perfection because this movie was so good, so good. It was written so beautifully. The characters were all great, but Koichi Shikishima, which was the main character, was written like I, I didn't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I can't speak either apparently. But Koichi is one of the best written characters uh, that I've seen in a long time, especially in like only a 2 hour movie. It's 125-minute runtime, which is just over 2 hours. Always a because credits, you got to think about that. Anyway, he is a kamikaze pilot, or was a kamikaze pilot in World War II. Survived. He lied about having problems with his plane. Flew to Otto Island to get repairs done. The mechanics there. Everyone's excited to go home and go back to their families. Finish up with the war. This kamikaze pilot comes, to Otto Island. They're like, okay, plane's all good, and then who turns up. The first time we see Godzilla in this movie was like no joke. I don't get scared or like have jump scares or anything, but like it was like scary. I was like, I felt the cinematography is so good and the sound design is so good. It genuinely felt like I was there on Otto Island with all of them. Like it was scary. You felt terrified that this giant lizard monster creature thing was going to kill you. The way that Godzilla appears on the screen in the first time and the last time and everything in between is always has this level of terror. You always know everything is going to get killed or destroyed, wrecked. Like he was or she was there to obliterate everything in its path, didn't care about anything. Now, I had this feeling in the cinema when watching it. Only briefly. I was like, oh, well, it's, an animal created by humans, it doesn't know what it's doing. It's just big now and it's like walking around and, inherently things are getting destroyed. No. You felt like this thing, Godzilla, was there to just kill everyone and destroy everything. Takashi is a great director. if he's making other movies, other Godzilla movies, other movies in general, I want to watch them. Like genuinely, he made me feel like I was there. He made me feel empathetic towards the characters. He he made a genuine masterpiece. Like this is definitely his masterpiece. I haven't seen any of his other movies, but this movie is so good that I refuse to believe that he could have made something that's even close to this level because and I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. But I just don't think he would have because like I can't speak highly enough about this movie. It's just that good. Everything about it, the sound design. Let's just really quickly talk about the score and the sound design because the score in this movie is it's not like Oppenheimer, it's not like Interstellar, it's not like all right, I can't even think of any other movies, but these movies that have like the most well-known scores of all time. This movie is it's so subtle, but it's so perfect in every scene and every sequence and every time in the movie. It's so beautiful. The score is was made with love. Now the sound design, on the other hand, was made with so much emotion and feeling. Godzilla sounded like you have to watch this in the cinema, by the way. If you don't watch this in the cinema, you're doing yourself a disservice because Godzilla, his roar, holy bro, it was so loud, but it sounded amazing. It could have gone louder, I wouldn't have been complaining. Like if this movie was louder in the cinema, I would definitely wouldn't have been upset because it sounded so good. When his heat ray atomic breath thing went off, dude, it sounded amazing when it exploded. Everything about this movie was so good. But yeah, I can't get enough of the acting, the actors. The main actor is I'm definitely not going to pronounce this right, but it's Ryunosuke Kamiki and Minami Hamabe, which is Koichi Shikishima and Noriko Oishi, respectively, and they're the main like not husband and wife, but friends that are kind of emotionally attached together because of the child Akiko, I think is her name. Um, but they have this beautiful relationship that evolves and progresses, but it also doesn't turn into this like boring love thing that Hollywood movies seem to do a lot. He, as in Koichi, seems to keep himself secluded because he has all this burden and PTSD and guilt from what he had done, or rather not done, in the war and to save the mechanics on Otto Island and so on and so forth. But anyway, I wanted to make this video quite quickly. Godzilla Minus One is one of the greatest films ever made. A personal favorite of mine. Um, Definitely the best Godzilla movie ever made. I haven't seen them all, but I've seen the 1998 Hollywood one, and it's a shocker. So bad. So when you compare those two, this is like far and away, like easily the best. But I've only seen that one movie, and so I can't, compare it to everything. But from what I've seen out of all the other movies that I've seen in, my life, the, 740 whatever odd of them, I can safely say that this is definitely up there with some of the greatest movies ever made. Everything about it is so beautiful. It's so heartfelt and empathetic and sincere. I just can't think of better words to use to describe everything about it. You have to watch it in the cinemas. Cinematography is great. The score is great. The visual and sound effects are amazing. The story is beautiful. The characters are ones that you want to root for and deeply care about. The themes in this movie might not be understood by all audiences. I think mostly Japan or Japanese people. I'm half Japanese and I grew up obviously with a Japanese mum and around Japanese family and so on in Japan. And there's a lot of stuff that like nuanced ways of talking and the way that people were around each other and the respect and everything and why it was so important for him to redeem himself at the end. A lot of that comes down to, I think, being Japanese or knowing what that's like around you. Um, I think a lot of people will get it and understand it, but not at the same level as someone like me or other Japanese audience members. But this movie was fantastic, and dude, it's the greatest. Godzilla minus one, who would have thought? But yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll make an extended version video essay of this movie. I hope you have a great night or day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace! Peace!